the bread, holiday travel, and a new daily affirmation. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
New daily affirmations. I'm not even going to wait for the music. How are you, Melissa? Happy New all the things.
I have no words. It's just a really good start to a podcast, but I have
I'm
no
here
words.
to say I agree. The weather outside is frightful. I don't know what your kind of weather is having. Our weather is like not having it. What's your weather today?
We got the fog. We have 50 in fog right now, going up to 58, but don't worry. They said it's supposed to snow later. I don't even know the math on that one.
Yeah, we're like 74 and rainy, foggy, and gross, and it's like wet, but also steamy in the not good way. It's like swampy. It's not sexy. Steamy.
There's only one good wet and steamy, and if it's not that one,
super
none of them
not
are
that
good.
one.
Right? Okay.
Super not. And of course,
Right.
I stare out over Mount Red Clay, so everything I see for miles and miles is decimated. Once forest, now mounds of red, slushy, muddy, gross, stick to everything, kill everything clay. I mean, the red earth of Terra is no fucking joke because I have a pet. And he super loves to be outdoors in what was once his backyard and is now the Badlands of Destroy All the Furniture Town. When you come in, coated in this shitty shatty all over my house. Pass. So we're constantly screeching at this poor fellow. No, do not go into the thing that, for 5 years was okay, but now
has
magically,
been your playground.
Yes,
right.
Magically, no, it no longer works. Humans are fucked. We make no sense. You used to be able to sniff and prance and kill the wildlife and do all the things. He didn't actually ever kill any wildlife, but he gave him good chase.
Oh, mine did.
He gave him good chase. We get lots of deers and foxes and owls and and squirrelises and moles and voles and yips and yaps and all the fuckers. And he loves to give chase to those things because I think once he catches them, if ever, he feels like, and now you will be my friend forever. Like he's not trying to kill them.
He's a lab.
Our prior
That's
dogs,
what they do.
Our prior dogs would stalk, hunt, kill, and then display them as trophies. Like they absolutely got, I am a hunting dog, and guess what? You dead, and I'm faster than you, and I have more energy than you, and I'm prettier than you. So yeah, no, this one is like, I see something going on, play with it, la 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 la.
I am viciously trying to get to you so I can lick you and roll you over and lick you again.
Even though I present like a dope. Yeah. So anyway, it's very.
He's a good boy.
That's why I like the lab. They have they're super soulful and intelligent and also really, really dumb. Like in the bed, it's not dumb. It's like vacation dog. They just don't give a fuck. They're not working. Even when they do really smart, helpful, useful things, it's still, I'm on vacation, dude. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And P.S., if there's something I can lick, bring it. I am licking it. Because why wouldn't I? I mean, they're very chill. They're very chill, plus energy. It's a weird mix. I like it. How are you?
I'm all right.
You don't seem all right. You seem already fatutzed from the outset.
I have a story for you.
I want to hear it.
But first, I want to give you the daily affirmation for which you desperately crave.
Yeah, I'm all about the cravings.
Solace. Yeah, okay. So here goes. I was riding Peloton, and one of the instructors said out loud, "Everything under your hair is conspiring for your success."
Okay. Yep.
And I thought, as I'm riding, he's like, your body, your mind, you're this. He's like, I don't know about your hair. I don't think your hair is working for you at all sometimes. Sometimes I think it's working against you. It has its own mind. It has its own plan. But everything
was this
under
was
your
this
hair.
An uplift for you? Was this you see me, Gerald? Was this, did he touch you in the soul?
It was kind of like, I don't know that anything under my hair is working for me, but I want to think that it is. So if I keep saying it enough, maybe I'll believe it. Like my body's here working for my success, although my hair has other plans at times.
My hair is a whole thing.
It has its own plan. It is not. It did not sign the same contract that your body did.
My hair is planless. Yeah, it has everything I've described in the listless, non-purpose defining joy of a lab, and yet also it's not fun. So yeah, it's kind of like
your hair is fun.
It's like that employee that you really wish you don't have. Yeah, you're paying to keep this person on the payroll to get no productivity and zero value.
That's a lie, because your hair is a party. So don't say it's not fun. Your hair is definitely a party.
Well, okay, party it may be, but maybe like a crack party or anyway. So the Peloton instructor was connecting with your soul on a non-hair level.
I see your hair and I know it's not working.
I see your hair.
It has its own
plan.
And
I choose to disregard. I choose
to tell you.
I instead value everything about you with the exclusion of your crowd.
He said, don't listen to your hair. She'll know what she's talking about. Your body knows. You're on this bike. You are pushing hard. Yes. And your hair? Well, fuck you. You got your own day plan. Like, that's fine. So you traveled. Did you have good hair while you traveled? Because that's
No, I had super cute outfits, all planned. I had, I was even thinking, you're going to have your photograph taken on Christmas Day. Somebody's going to take it and post it. You just decide. Do your hair the night before at least. Plan for it. Put on your cute little silky pajamas. You have 3 sets of silk pajamas that I brought. 3 choices. Red, green, and navy blue. I'm fucking telling you, I had 3 choices of silk pajamas, and I wore a nut brittle stained NC State sweatshirt and God knows what the hell else. A pair of shorts, I think, in pictures that I did not approve that got posted. So, no. My hair, no. I didn't do my hair. I didn't brush it. I didn't do it. As you can see from right now, there's no with the hair. It's not. I feel like it's a challenge I can win. Why do I feel that way? I'm 78
I don't know.
years
You've had
old.
It this long.
I can't win.
I think in the battle of girl versus hair has dominated. I feel like that ship has sailed. I had planned. I know you traveled. You made it to New York. Were you there? Did you go to the game?
Oh,
that
yeah.
You said you were going
we went to New York, and we went in every building and touched all the surfaces and licked them. We had a makeout party with the NBA. Everybody got COVID. No, I didn't fucking go to New York. Are you kidding? It was all canceled, all non-refundable. Ha, ha, ha. So I had to just pack and plan as if this was going to happen, waiting and waiting and waiting. My fingers crossed that they would they canceled some NBA games, but not the one in Brooklyn I paid for, non-refundable 5 seats. So yeah, it was super fun and delightful. It doesn't matter.
Did your family say, don't go to New York? We're begging you, don't go?
No, people stay out of my business. So this was...
How do I get family like that?
It was all happening downstream of them anyway. So no, there's no shortage of, I'm really glad you made that decision. Like it was my fucking decision. It's not my fucking decision. It's the reality of the situation. If the train is broke, you don't say, let's get on this broken train and see where it takes us. I mean, I don't feel like it was our decision. This decision, there was no other decision. This is just the way that it goes. But once you say it, like giving your baby a name that people don't like, they still say, oh, I'm so glad you didn't name her, Banana Town or whatever you were going to name your child.
Banana Hammock.
Thank you. Yes, I did name my daughter Banana Hammock. She's got a tough life ahead of her. No, we did not go anywhere. I had every possible thing go wrong. I haven't really even talked to you in this amount of time. Holidays were kind of not my friend this year. So I don't even want to say it because you're going to flip out. So prepare. Okay. So the car broke down the day before we're supposed to leave. Oh, the face. I've not seen that face before. It's a face that says, this is your fault. And I'm laughing and mad. That's such a wonderful combination. How did you do this? It's a new emotion.
Please carry on.
Okay.
Validate my face.
Okay, so the day before, I'm scrambling to make cookies for the whole fucking East Coast.
Yeah.
And brittle and packet and hit these other 6 new this year only milestones and requirements that have never been requirements before. Yes, okay, I will take on all these added extra burdens. No problem. And all I'm thinking to get me through it. All that I'm thinking is at least this year we are taking 2 cars, which we don't normally do, and I will have 3 drivers in my car. So, myself being one of the 3, all I have to do is get to departure. I just have to get to the gate, otherwise known as my own garage. I have to get there at 6:30, which is our goal for the day to leave in the morning for the drive, which is usually way earlier than we would ever leave for a drive of this kind. Just get there, and someone else can make this happen. And when that someone else gets tired, tag to yet another someone else who is not me. And up to this point, everything has been me. So on the afternoon before the departure, please take these car keys, go out and do these 4 errands that I know I'm going to blow my head off if I still have to do, and you're here, so go do it. Oh, guess what? There's a flat tire.
Okay, flat tire is better than a broken down car. I can handle a flat tire.
So scramble, pump up the tire enough to get it over to the tire repair people, magically get an appointment that day. Magically, they can't fix the tire. It is time for new tire. And you can't get a tire for the car that we have because supply chain and who knows why for 3 days. So that car, no go. So now what? Cancel another part of this trip that's slowly getting, we're still playing the pretend game that there's a possibility.
Like everything's fine.
That there's a possibility we're still going to New York after we're finished with Christmas. So we have to pack as if. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Even knowing in your head, this is not happening. Okay. Magically, hubby to the rescue. He decides, rather than we're going to squeeze back into one car, we're going to do that
Rent
pivot.
A car.
Yeah, he rents a car. Well, okay, sure. $1,200. Great. Let's rent a car. So he rents a car.
Holy shit.
Well, what the fuck? You're going to drive for 1,000 hours. It has to be big enough to take you and all the places you're going to go. It's for a week. It's an SUV. And guess what? Rental cars are not easily available or fucking cheap when you try to get them that day at Christmas. Yeah, so great. So how many more non-refundable things can we do? Fantastic. Get in the car, drive it. So load up the whole car the night before. So he shows up. It's by 7 p.m. He's home with a fucking car. So I live with geniuses. Fantastic. Okay. Keep going, guys. Keep going. I'm up until 1 a.m. As always, before I try to go anywhere. There's always 4,000 things with work and whatever else that's going on. Get it right. Okay. Next morning, set the alarm for 5:30 because I'm fucking doing it. I've come this far and somebody else. And now I'm at the point where, oh, right, nobody else can drive because it's a rental. And they're all under 25.
Yeah.
So legally, now I'm on the you're driving the whole way yourself show for a 10-hour drive on the busiest travel day of the year in a car that you're not familiar with. Sure, got it. With no sleep. Let's do it. I'm in. I'm ready to go. Sign me up. So we all get into the car. It's taking a little longer than usual. We're going to have to take the dog in the rental car, which doesn't have room for the dog because it has like every seat is a captain's seat. So the back middle row, there was a 3-way, but we have filled that with our cargo. The back seat has like the airplane wooden thing in the middle. So there's no bench. You can't put a dog. So the dog had to go where your feet go. He's losing his mind. Everybody's in there. We have to wait to leave to take the dog now because they don't open until 7:30. So we're all ready. We get the dog, turn on the car. The dog is in the car. The car is packed with all the food. And there's a flat fucking tire in the rental car in my driveway. I did not kill anyone this holiday. And it's kind of crazy that I didn't. It's kind of crazy. So I drove on the fucking flat because that's where my brain was. It was low air. Do not drive low air. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm taking my dog. So I'm thinking, this is the stupidest thing that you've ever done. But wait. Okay. Got all the way over there. Fill up the tire. It didn't even fill it up. I was scared to fill it up more because now the tire's hot. Because I drove 20 minutes on a low tire. And I'm like, fuck it. We're just going. So got all the way there and the whole trip. Every time you start the car, it's like 20 PSI and a tire that's supposed to have 35. So I'm refilling it. I'm getting family members to have their compression guns out. I'm doing this, the whole thing. It's like the degree of difficulty. And there's 40 more things that were layered on top of this shit. So yeah, I didn't take the effort to style my hair and put on my silken pajamas. Okay. And it makes me fucking sad. It makes me sad because those are the things that you think about in advance. The only thing that I wanted to do, and I didn't have, it's not even about the energy because you never have energy. Your body is, I push my body to the point where it doesn't work anymore. And then I keep pushing. That's not a good thing to do. The past month and a half, I've made and sold more brittle than fucking Willy Wonka. It's insane. I don't know why I did this, but I did. I finally turned the shop off. People are still texting me. I know you've turned it off, but can maybe you send me some? I don't care when it arrives. Can it come after the holidays? I'm like, are you really doing this? Are you really?
Well, it's really good, and now they're addicted, so that's a problem.
So in order to do this extra fucking degree of difficulty, I completely stopped the only things in my life that work, which is eating in ways that really sustain me and make me feel healthy and good and satisfied, right? I went into, I will eat brittle and cookies, and that is my day. And also coffee plus alcohol. So there's that, plus no sleep, plus no Pilates. And I can't fucking walk upright. So I'm like a monkey. And then I'm driving around these 10-hour things with the pump, with the thing, in the frigid. Meanwhile, down here, 70, 80 degrees. Magically, when we got up there was this cold snap. So we left in shorts, and halfway through the drive, it was 40 degrees. So I'm out dicking with the pump. I mean, I swear to you. The Christmas challenge, it was more than I could take. It was just more than I could take. Anyway, we made it back alive, returned everything. We're all done. We're home. My car is back. 4 brand new fucking tires. Because how much did that cost? The magic number. Yeah.
Because you can't get just one. They have to have equal tread, and they have to, with those performance vehicles.
It was wonderful. Yeah. Tires on a car that we may not even keep. Just so stupid.
I can top you.
Wow.
I can top you.
Come on. You don't even celebrate Christmas.
I say with 10,000% confidence, I can top you. You ready?
I don't know that I am, but
Are you sitting?
I am fucking riveted. I'm riveted to my ass cheeks are molten to the seated.
My biggest stress for this break that we both took. First of all, dear listener, I'm so sorry for the last episode and its audio. The debate was don't put out anything or just share something shitty. And
instead,
we
decided to put out something shitty on time.
If you know me at all, I'd rather give you something shitty than give you nothing at all because I want you to know I thought about you. And even though it's not the right thing, it's something, and you know I care.
Well, let me jump in. We went way out of our way to make sure that we had content and that we were dedicated to this and to you, which we are. And we had a good conversation that we were proud of. And my audio was jack the fuck up. As maybe you kind of heard a little bit about my life on that day. I think actually that was the day before. That was the day when we recorded the morning of me discovering the tire.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was leaving the very next morning at whatever a.m. Yeah, it's exactly the day that it happened. Yay! So anyway, that clearly was my error. And we both stared at each other and said, okay, let's throw some microphones in the cars. Let's think about how we can do this while we're with our families. Let's baka. And then the reality was it was a good conversation. This year can suck my whole ass dry. We're done. And I don't.
It definitely summed up the year.
Yeah, and I don't.
Episode.
at a certain point, we felt that the content was more valuable than the fuck up. So nobody likes to walk around with a giant fuck up on their face. And I feel like that's been the last 2 years of my life. But meanwhile, we're getting ready to hear a story that just might top it.
So the episode before that, we stressed out about where we were traveling and what COVID had for us in store and how things were changing. And we even got a little hostile with I can't believe you're going to fucking Florida. That's COVID soup. Well, you're going to New York. That's your lick anything. We're both getting COVID. Like we're going to die was the Christmas episode. Like this is it. I love you. I've always loved you. Bye-bye. Well, I made sure we had for me, the worst part is traveling because that's where all the people are. We rented an Airbnb in outside of West Palm Beach, Florida for my family. It has its own pool if the in-laws wanted to come over and share some pool time. If my parents wanted to come over. My mother recently had brain surgery, so I was kind of excited, this is shocking, to see her, to know, okay, she's still alive and it's not just,
Wait, did you have brain surgery? Because I'm teasing you.
I know. It's the weirdest sentence I've said.
No, but let's stop for a moment. That's great. That's a stop.
Continue listening.
Listen, though. It doesn't matter. That's a moment in time. That's one moment in time that you maybe
but yet it
thought,
wasn't.
Well, but maybe you thought
yes.
maybe you thought you would never even have. So even the anticipation of that moment in time. Good.
I was kind of doing it for my brother also, just keeping, like, getting one eye on her, clocking to make sure she was okay, that my father, who's now walking like a question mark, was still mostly upright and that kind of thing. Well, I booked the pet sitter who, I don't know if you remember, she came once before and she stayed at our house for family weekend at the University of Pittsburgh. And she opened our Halloween candy before Halloween and she ate it.
Yes.
And I came home to a nightmare scene of, but we don't have any Halloween candy. Like, that's not a nightmare. And I now know what is, because I have something to which I can compare it. So she's booked and we are N95. Yeah. So we're like fogging up the inside of a plastic mask and we're,
same and so difficult. Yes.
Healthcare workers. Cheers, my friends. Cheers, cheers, cheers. So we N95, the kids are like, are you fucking kidding me? Can't I just wear a, and my husband's like, nope, this is, your mother's crazy. I'm crazy. COVID is literally everywhere. Cloth masks don't work for this variant. We fly to Florida. I made it. We did it. That's the worst part. Get me out of this airport so I could, even if it's all of the exhaust of all of the little buses that are picking people up.
Now you're in our neck of the woods-ish, where in addition to the challenges of wearing this thing in any environment, when it's hot and sweaty and sticky, you got shit dripping inside that mask and you can't wipe it. Okay, keep talking.
I mean, I think my son sneezed in the mask. He's like, I don't know what to do.
You get to savor the flavor, genius, because it's sticking.
I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. You're stuck. You are stuck. So we land. The plane lands, and I text the pet sitter, or I turn on my phone, and there's no text. We have an agreement. You text me as soon as you get to the house. Tell me the dogs are fine, and they are now in your care, not mine. I'm done with you. You won't hear from me again unless you need me. Well, no text from her.
Okay.
So that's like 7, 8 p.m. What do we leave? 7, 8, 9 p.m. No text from her. So I text her from the plane saying, are you there? Because we left the dogs at 4. So now it's like 9 o'clock, no pet sitter. And then nothing. We're walking through the airport with our N95s and we get our luggage. I'm texting again. And Stuart looks at me with these eyes like, would you fucking call her? I'm like, yes, because I already feel like my stomach churning. I just need to know they're okay. I don't care if anything else, just they're okay. I call, no one answers. Her cell phone, no one answers. And we have our bags. We head to the car. I'm freaking out. I call again. No one answers. So we are driving. We get to the Airbnb, VRBO, whatever. We pull in. I call again. And she answers, out of breath. She answers and she goes, hi guys, hi. And like she's talking to my dogs. She pretends to be talking to my dogs. Yep, I'm here. Everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine.
But there's not enough room to drop my jaw any further. But I'll sit here for a minute.
One more minute. So I'm like, okay, I just wanted to make sure you were there because I hadn't heard from you. Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't text you. You know, things got crazy. My daughter this, my daughter that.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
like,
care
okay.
about you.
Okay.
Don't care about you. Yeah.
But you're there. You're talking to my dogs. We're good. 11, 12 o'clock. 11 o'clock now. And I go and I open the app that it has a camera in my kitchen.
Thank you.
And I think in my family room, I don't piano room, whatever it is, one of the other rooms of the house. My dogs are walking around. There's no human there. No lights are on. I see their eyes because it has a night vision. So 4 o'clock, I left them to go pick up my husband at work and drive to the airport. So now it's 11:15.
And no one has been to your house.
No one has been to my house. Nothing has changed. Darkness has fallen upon the home. And they're wandering around. They're getting antsy because it's been 7 hours. And the only time they really go that long is overnight. And they're crated. So it's like, hold it, bitch. So then I call my girlfriend at work. She's a labor and delivery nurse. Hi, Michelle. And she says, I'm getting out of here in 15 minutes. I'm going right to your house. And if nothing else, I will let the dogs out and tell you if she's been there. Because maybe I haven't been watching my house the whole time. I don't know if I just turned it on to see where they were, or if that everything was okay, that I could exhale. Because I don't know, something triggered, whatever, panic in me. Nothing. So, you know what it was? I turned it on before I got in touch with her, and they hadn't been tended to. And then I finally got in touch with her, and she was saying, oh, hi, guys. And then I went on the camera again just to see her. Not there.
Is she
Liar.
supposed to stay there the whole time?
For 6 days.
So she's supposed to
sleeping over, fresh towels,
okay,
yes,
yeah.
Bring
okay.
a packed bag, the whole 9 yards. So, and I prepaid her because she didn't want the money left on the counter and be traveling with cash because she's a single woman and didn't want cash. So I Venmo'd her, which is fine. I would have prepaid her either way. It would have been sitting on the countertop for her in cash. So my girlfriend finishes work, and at 11:30, she rolls into my house, and these dogs have not seen a human since 4 when I left. And I'm like crying and shaking.
Was there just no flight out of Florida back home? Like, I'm amazed at your resilience to stay where you were.
Please hold.
Oh, for fuck's sake! But
hold that thought.
But wait, that's awful. I know you, though.
Hold that thought.
Okay, I'm holding.
Hold that thought.
I can't hold on.
So she dashes through the kitchen. They're like, who the fuck are you? So she dashes through the kitchen, opens the door, lets the dogs out. They all just immediately evacuate.
They're
like
deck.
Yeah, they didn't even make it right. So she looks around and she said, the note you left is here. It's in this place. And she waved at the camera at me. She went upstairs. Nobody had gone upstairs. The bed, everything was just as we left it. Okay. There was no luggage. There was nobody had been there since we left. Okay. So she lets them out, gives them kisses and a treat, and then she leaves.
She crates them probably. She knows how to do this.
No, we leave them on the main floor of the house.
But good enough is the answer.
They're blockaded. They're not hitting carpet at any point. Just rugs and hardwood and couches and
But they're fine.
Water.
But they're
free,
fine.
Right.
They're fine. They can do it.
They're fine. They just went out. They got a little treat. They got a little ear rub. They're fine. She leaves. It's almost midnight, and I have the camera on. My kids and I are looking at this camera. Ethan decides he wants to go into the pool in the backyard, which is beautifully lit. So he takes a quick dip in the pool, comes out, showers, and it's now 1:30. Nothing. No human. She's still not there. Just after that, she opens the door, and she comes in through the garage.
Oh, God.
And I'm shaking now. I'm like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Like all these conversations. And so she walks in and she lets the dogs out, not knowing 2 hours ago they were there. My friend was there and they went out. Then she proceeds to go through every cabinet and drawer in my kitchen while I watch her from 1:30 to 3:30. She is ransacking my house, opening drawers, pulling things out, trying things on. I say trying things on because I have more than one junk drawer in the kitchen. I have maybe 3 because I have the organizational skills of a chimpanzee. So she opens up and tries on this watch band, holds up a necklace to herself. By the way, joke's on you, the necklace is in the kitchen because it's broken and I need to fix that clasp and it's in the pile of, I'll get to it when I get to it shit. She then goes through my pile of mail, opens up things, goes into cabinets, pulls everything out. It's on the counter. She's opening boxes. She is going through piles of paper. In that kitchen, we have checkbooks in a drawer. We have prescription pads for my husband's
nightmare. This is
job.
Absolutely my worst nightmare.
And and Mallory turns to me and she goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? I have a lockbox of cash in my room and the key is in the lockbox."
Of course, or taped to the bottom so I don't forget it. Yep.
Because she's lost it once before and can't do that again. She said if she takes this activity, frenzy, going through things, taking things out, putting things in her backpack, which is on the counter, going to her backpack, opening things, she's fleecing me.
She's taking things out of your kitchen and putting them in her backpack.
Correct. So wait, earlier that day, it's 4 a.m. Earlier that day, before we left Pennsylvania, I drove Stuart to work because I was picking him up later.
Of course, got it.
So we have not slept since 4 a.m.
Yeah,
it is now once again pretty much 4 a.m.
And your body is like, but I don't sleep now. We've decided to not sleep forever. So I'll be awake,
Yes.
and I'm crazy too. Yes.
And look what's happening in my home right now. I don't mind, you want to find pots and pans.
No.
You want to open some shit up. You've eaten my Halloween candy. I rehired you. Like, okay, Melissa, grow the fuck up. She can eat what she wants. I left her things to eat also. I am freaking out, and I'm not crying, but tears are strolling down my face, and I don't understand.
No, you don't have.
Usually, when I
cry,
cry,
hold them in, right?
The face makes a scrunchiness, and it's like a push, and it's tears are just rolling down my face, and I don't know what to do. I'm shaking. She is robbing me blind, and this is just in the kitchen. And then she's going back to the same drawers and taking different things out and leaving them on the counter. And Stuart looked at me and he said, I think she's drunk. I think she's like drunk and blacked out because she's been to that pile, some of the holiday cards, maybe a change of address things, the mail, magazines, like this big pile. She's been through that. I am freaking the fuck out. I did the hard part. I want you to know. I flew to fucking Florida with my gaggle. We are here. We are here to see Stuart's family. Again, check on my mother, do all, And he said, we need a family meeting. So after Ethan's dip in the pool and his shower, he crawled into bed and kind of closed his eyes. It's now 2:40 in the morning. We walk into Mallory's room. She's kind of sleepy-ish. And we drag Ethan out of bed into Mallory's room and we're like, we need a family meeting. This is still happening. She's still in a frenzy through our kitchen. And Mallory's like, she's taking things. Look, she's putting them in her backpack. We left. We packed up our shit that we didn't even unpack, put it back in the car, drove to Stuart's parents' apartment 7 blocks away at 3 a.m. and said, we love you. Here's what she's doing in our home right now. And we showed them the video, the picture. I have a video of it.
I'm surprised you didn't just call the police and have them come and arrest her in the act. But keep going.
But then what? Then what would happen? My dogs are... the whole point was to have a human with my dogs.
No, even if there's multiple problems happening. Okay, go.
So we packed up the car. We took whatever we unpacked and we left. We saw his parents for 8 seconds and they were like, I'm still sleeping and I can't believe we flew the entire family here for you not to be here for it. And I felt terrible because I did the hard part for me mentally. Right. And this was supposed to be the good part. You don't think I want this face to have a sun-kissed tan on it right now? You don't think... That was my goal, or at least the payoff for doing the awkward travel for me. Packed all the cute outfits, like you said. Yeah. Packed all that, did all the right things. Had the hair product, hoped for good water and good hair. Went right to the airport, still shaking, freaking out, still looking at this thing. She left. We got the next flight, which, by the way, they could not switch. We had to rebuy flights. 80 minutes before the flight took off. Right. So kind of like your rental car.
Right.
Another grand on whatever. So by the way, this past Sunday when we were supposed to fly home, we got the alert from American Airlines. We're like, hey, assholes.
Time to check in, dickweed. Yeah.
Time to check in. Here's how you can put your phone in airplane mode without going to settings. I'm like, you can suck a dick. I've been home a week.
Account into empty auto. Yeah, I've got auto empty set up for my bank account. With all sources. Yeah.
6 a.m. We got on the next flight home. We're home by 8:30. We're home by 8:30 in the morning the next morning.
Back. And she left. Or did she stay there and sleep?
She locked the dogs in the basement. She put all 3 dogs downstairs in the basement and left at like 4 in the morning. As we're in the airport, she's gone.
With your stuff, with her backpack.
With all of our stuff. And we head right back home. And I text her and Stuart says, I guess we don't really know her that well. She could have a gun. If we walk into our home and she doesn't, we don't know anything. You need to just send her a text that said, we're home due to an emergency, death in the family. I'm like, I'm not killing any of our relatives right now. I said, due to a work emergency, we had to come home. And I sent her that text, and we should be home shortly is what I wrote her. How could we be home shortly unless we flew at 4 a.m. to like, that makes no sense. But she's a drunk and she wasn't staying at our house anyway, which I have the text chain. You will be staying at our house, correct? Correct. I will be sleeping there. The only time I will leave is from 10 to 12 to let out this other dog I'm watching. Who knows if that happened. So we come home and we're all like, here's how we're shaking. Here's how we're going to do it because we still haven't slept. So here's what we're going to say. We're going to say, look, we have you on video doing this is pay us back, blah, blah. Stuart's like, I don't even care about the money. Just get the fuck out of my house, change all of our codes, and let's move on with this. I'm like, you don't care about the money. Who are you? So we come home and she was never there. She never stayed over. Her bed wasn't touched. The towels I left for her were not touched. The gate wasn't touched. Everything was exactly how we left it and how Michelle left it. And except for the fact that the dogs were screaming in the basement because they heard the garage door open and they're like, I gotta go out because we didn't get home until like 9 something. And she's been gone since 3 or 4 a.m. So Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Didn't you go to Florida for break? Technically, we did go to Florida. We were there for 4 hours.
Oh, my God.
4 hours and 11 minutes we were in Florida.
How did you not arrest her? How is she not in jail?
So on the drive home from the airport, we called the police.
Yeah.
And we said, the non-emergent line, and we said, hey, this is our situation. We don't know what we're walking into right now, but I would like to get your thoughts on this. My sister-in-law is a personal injury attorney and slight alarmist. And she's like, you should not walk in your home without a police officer, and you should walk in there and like with a bat. Like she just had all these plans, these hyper violent, vigilant, whatever plans. And we called and talked to a police officer who said, when you get there, let us know if you need us and we'll come right out. But I'm not waking somebody up for this shit. So carry on. You seem fine. Carry on. So we went home. There was no car in the driveway. I told you she was not there. And Mallory ran upstairs and checked to make sure her lockbox was still intact. Aww. I have a ring from my mother. It's really the only thing I feel super attached to. Also still there. The dogs alive, went out and almost exploded outside, which is super great. Now I know they're capable of more than I've ever tested them with. So we are waiting. I said to Stuart, I'm like, I want to text her and tell her to Venmo me back the money that I Venmo'd her. And he's like, Melissa, I want you to let this go unless she contacts you for something. I'm like, what? A reference? Like, you've got to be kidding me. I have a video of her frantically going through things. And he said, I really don't even think she was completely conscious. I think she was blackout drunk. She answered the phone at one point, walked by the camera and went, wow, that's creepy. Like she was like a character. Oh, she was smoking in my house and then following herself around with, from the cabinet, a room spray from Bed Bath and Your Mom. No, Bath and Body Works. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, so I don't agree with the
don't contact her.
Let the criminal walk around and just be the victim. I don't agree with it.
Figure out what she took though, because there are things like I have a tiny box that has just the jewelry I wore to the kids' B'nai Mitzvah. I haven't worn it since. I haven't. Partially costume and mostly costume jewelry, but
yeah,
I
still
get
there.
All that. Those things still all that, there,
and it's not worth the emotional cost of trying to tick off all of the violations that occurred by studying that footage that you have. I'm not recommending that. I'm absolutely there. There was enough of a violation. I can tell you without backtracking, know what she took, because she took payment for 6 days of 24-hour care, and that doesn't deserve to be gone. And there's no gun involved. She took trust. She violated everything. She stole from you. It was basically one step below B&E. I don't get how this is not absolutely throw everything you have at this gal. And the way that you do it is to say, hi, We're home now, so you can't hurt our dogs or steal from us anymore. We have you on video doing this. We want all of our possessions that we've documented you've taken and all of the money that you were advanced back in our mailbox, absolutely, within the next 2 hours, or you will be visited by Sheriff XYZ from said county. That's it. That's it. And you do it with the full weight and backing of the sheriff's office, who will visit her.
My heart is racing like it was that day again. And then what if her white trashiness and white trash friends then come back?
What do you do when someone comes into the emergency room and attacks Stuart? Do you say, don't call security, they were probably drunk? It's no different. This was a violation that occurred.
But this is our home, and they know where we live and where
I get it.
only valuable.
To me, that makes it even more.
It's worse of a crime that way. I feel that, but I don't want a retaliation.
Even more reason for you to protect yourself with the full weight and authority of the law. You are in the right here. You are in the right here. I don't feel like this was, how can I put it? This is not someone who is going to be in your life evermore. This is not someone who is doing this vindictively. This is not someone who is, what do we do? A judge is not capable of being a judge because people get angry when the judge rules against them, when things are just and they have to take their punishment. Yeah, that's what happens. Police officers don't face some kind of retaliation.
You're talking about things people do at work. Stewart's at work, a judge is at work. These are all work things. This is my home. This is supposed to be a safe place that was, yes, wildly violated, and now reliving it, telling you I have not really told this since that day, and it's devastating. It's shocking. I'm back to that visceral feeling of intense violation. I need this home to become that protected space again, and to know that I've pushed somebody to. I don't think she has the money to pay me back. That money is definitely...
She does, because she has your money, and she's going to be paying you back your money. You're not asking her to change her circumstances. You are asking her to undo her wrong against you.
But isn't it my fault that I canceled her for the rest of the week? Isn't it me saying I don't need...
No. In what universe? In absolutely zero universe.
We did return our rental car, and they did give us a credit for the 5 days we didn't use.
If anything, that's more justification that she's been paid for shit that she did not do. She absolutely is in violation of every term and condition that you set up. She lied to you. So
somebody said, didn't you find her on Rover? Yeah, we found her on Rover, but we went off Rover and paid her cash off Rover, which was a huge mistake. And
I'm sure this is some sort of connect me to another person service. Okay, so now you report.
Rover's a dog walking service.
So now you report her on Rover by name publicly, 100%. You put the footage of her stealing things in your house on Rover, 100%.
Even though we didn't use Rover to book her?
Yes.
Okay.
She should not be here. That is, you do not want this to happen to someone else. That is taking it, in fairness, that's taking it a step further. You're affecting her future livelihood, but you're also protecting others based on your experience. I don't care and endorse any of that. I don't have a problem if you do it. I'm not encouraging you to do it. Your job is not to right all the wrongs of the world. Here's why I say this. Here's why I say what I'm saying. This human stole from you. This human stole peace, trust, sanctity.
Peace of mind. Yes. All of those things, yes.
Those are not going to come back to you until and unless you reclaim your power in this situation. It's not about the money. I know it's not about the money. It's about you saying, I will not be victim to you or these feelings or the illusion of security that you have stepped through irrevocably. I will reclaim that by saying, I have security in my home and sanctity and control and dominion over my home by saying this cannot happen here. There are consequences for what happens here. It is not my job to enforce it. There are systems in place to enforce it, including the law. And I will follow those systems and they will protect me. If for nothing else, this system is designed to help good old Whitey. So be that person today and take advantage.
Let it work in your favor, bitch. What is the point?
It absolutely, if you trust nothing else, you will forever, I speak from experience, you will forever be affected by this until you change this. You don't have to change it in the way that I'm talking about, but you have to get past it in a way that is not, I set this on the shelf, lock it and forget it with the key still sticking out. It's not that. And I frankly
that shelf
think
is full right now. I don't know that there's room on that shelf for this
I frankly
also.
think that this, regardless of the path forward, because there are many paths forward, not just this one. And I've been thinking about this for the sum total of the 18 minutes I've taken to be involved in the story. You've had more visceral time with it. And you will have more time with it, as will I. Better ideas will emerge. My point to you is this is not only an opportunity for you to rewrite and reclaim this situation, but it is a critical opportunity for you to model how to behave for your children.
Oh, God.
You're modeling this. This is your whole deal, pal. You want to train them how to move forward in the world. And training them that it's okay to be victimized and just turn the other cheek is not a Christian mentality. It's not. This was not someone who needed from you. This is not you doing good work or goodwill. This was needless, wanton, manipulative violation. And you can, at a minimum, protect your family and yourself by standing up and saying, no, thank you. No, thank you. To go after and decimate this person is a completely different response than
Step
to say,
too far, right?
than to say, no, thank you. I don't deserve to be victimized by you, and I won't allow it. I won't also be victimized by the fear that you will hold over me forever, you would come back and do it again. Because guess what? I know that you didn't do it this time. I'm in charge here, not you. I am not the victim. You cannot do this to me. We're done. We're done. We're done, obviously, that I'm not your employer, even though we were in a situation where you violated that trust. This is absolutely an employer contract, right? This is not okay. Super not okay. And I'm terribly sickened that this happened to you, to your kids, to your extended family, to your dogs, to the whole fucking deal. This is not cool, not fair, totally not fair. This is a no bueno.
We got home and my husband's looking at flights to go back and be with his whole family. You know, he's looking at, and he's like, are you okay if I leave? I'm like, you should absolutely leave. And my in-laws were like, hey, why don't the kids stay here? And the kids, you said it, they were pretty much traumatized by this. Yeah. They wanted to A, be with mom and dad.
Right.
And B, they wanted to see for themselves that everything's fine. I don't think they would have been okay if we didn't fly home with them for them to survey the land kind of thing. Like look around and be like, okay. They didn't want us walking into a house with an unknown. Shocked the most was my daughter, who's like, this is bullshit. She was on fire.
Good.
And she walked in like, where is that bitch? Get me a bat. Like she was, fuck, empty your bag, bitch.
Too far,
was what
but
she came
I honor
in
the
saying.
reaction because that is
right. I was the opposite.
Power.
Right.
I have power.
Right.
You have wronged me, and I
she
do not
for
accept
me
it.
more than anything else.
I do not accept it.
Yes.
I
loved that she did that, but I was like, I had the opposite reaction. Just go. Just leave. And her answer was bull fucking shit. Empty your backpack. But she wasn't there. The whole point was she didn't do anything we asked of her as we had agreed. And yeah. So I will.
This was what? A day before Christmas? This was...
No, Christmas Day we flew out. So it was Jesus Christmas
God.
night. So we woke up Christmas Day at 4 a.m. and then we were home by the 26th at 8 a.m. After being in 2 airports.
Yeah.
Which is my nightmare.
That's the whole kit and fucking caboodle. That's the whole kit and fucking caboodle. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So it completely is unresolved. There's no police report. There's no return of the Venmo money that was sent in advance. There's no nothing, huh?
But there is that extra over grant, $1,200 for tickets to fly back that same day, next day, same day.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, it was all the same day.
I'm sure your sister-in-law would be saying, and you're going to say, P.S., you're paying for our flight home because you're paying, and I mean, you'd be well within reason
She
to
would
say,
have,
and
but-
you're paying for a replacement for you because we've had to scramble to make that happen. Like, I mean, there's lots of things, but I'm not interested in vindication. Right.
Sanity. We're just interested in sanity.
I'm interested in justice. Right. So this is someone who took more than she was entitled to, who took advantage of the situation. And I would like that to simply get back to on balance. That's what I would like. I don't know if it can in the short term. It absolutely can in the near term and in the long term. I don't know how, but I mean, I absolutely get the idea. I lived in an apartment once, and I mean, when I lived in an apartment, a guy on another floor accidentally fell asleep and started a fire in the apartment. It was a walk-up brownstone style in the city. So there was, I guess, 3 floors. I think maybe there were 4 floors. I don't even remember. 2 apartments on either side. So you walk up the main hallway, apartment. You have the whole side of the townhouse kind of thing. And he started a fire and was asleep. And I was home and I smelled the smoke and I didn't know what was going on. And I called the fire department and they broke in, and it was a pan on the stove. He was cooking something and fell asleep, right? And that, I referred to it at that time, just trying to get my head around what had happened. It was my illusion of safety was gone. I no longer feel safe in this apartment. I can live anywhere and an accidental fire can happen. I can be in any car
Right.
and get into an accident. And it just felt like this place
a
is not
violation.
worth it for me. I'm not going to stay in this place. And I moved out and I went somewhere else. And I really loved that apartment. But anyway, I didn't love it anymore.
Sounds really nice. Sounds lovely.
Wonderful. I walked to lots of stuff. And anyway, it was a big girl apartment, the whole thing, whatever. So I can remember how that felt to have your home be a different kind of place because of someone else. Fortunately, we've not been actively robbed or rifled through or any of these things. I've certainly not seen someone doing it on camera and
That's
been powerless
the worst
to stop
part.
it. Been powerless to stop it. Actively, and at the same time, I don't want to keep making this worse as I list it. I feel like I will list it now. While this is going on and knowing that my kids are in the room and they're being mistreated and neglected. So based on someone I hired. So there's so many levels of trust that were violated. I kept
apologizing.
Here.
I'm so sorry. You're missing your parents' family weekend. It's my fault we're doing this.
I meant the dogs as your kids.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know. Being mistreated. And I kept saying, this is my fault. I'm the one who hired her. I used her before and I never checked a camera. We were gone a night and a half, 2 nights or whatever. Everything was fine. I really thought she stayed over because the sheets and the whole, it was a whole thing. We changed her sheets but this time, not even an illusion of staying over. But she didn't think I was coming back for another 5.5 days.
And I'm not going to use the word in fairness. I'm going to say perhaps by way of explanation for this unacceptable person.
Right.
It was Christmas Day. She may have been...
That's why she charged us more.
Spending her whole Christmas Day doing whatever the fuck she wanted. And, maybe if it was another day of the week or day of the year, she would not have been so egregious or so drunk. And here's the real answer.
Or smoking in my house and spraying.
Yeah, she may not have been so free. Here's the other thing. None of that matters.
Right.
None of that justifies what she did. She conned you. That doesn't make you responsible. What happens is now, how do you behave? This was not a good scene. This is not a good thing. And I'm grateful that the dogs are happy and adjusted. And they showed mommy, this is a chance for us to shine.
I got this, Mom.
We had bladder control.
You hired that crackhead. But
they didn't bite that bitch, which maybe I kind of felt like if they had, I wouldn't have been upset about it. I'm not, there's no lie there. But I'm just trying to say, I absolutely think there is a next step. And the next step is, what is it going to take for you to feel I'm in charge of this situation?
Dear listener, what do you think is the next step? Amy talks wild sense and she makes, to me, it's almost common sense coming out of her mouth. This is what you do. If you want, it's kind of like a regain your power thing. So I'm curious, dear listener, what are your thoughts on my holiday drama trauma? And anybody want to tell Amy to get a new fucking car? I did get 2 gifts this holiday season. As it's not my holiday or my season because I hate winter, I was beyond thrilled with the 2 gifts I received this year. One, not being a solid pet sitter, but all in all, when a big box of bread gets delivered to your house.
Holy shit.
Yeah. This massive sourdough that I saw from UPS that it was coming, and I took a log of butter out of the refrigerator and I let it soften on the counter, and I waited, and the dogs and I waited by the window, and when it arrived, we were ready. Dear listener Anya sent me a loaf of bread.
Oh, shit.
Which was phenomenal.
Oh, my God.
She's made, so she, in her life, she's had many jobs, right? She is a Jane of all trades. She is a massage therapist who pivoted and made hand sanitizer as COVID hit Colorado and took it down. And during the pandemic, she started her sourdough starter. Now she has a menu of breads that she sells on the regular that are unbelievable. And she sent me the menu. What would you like? A hug? And then she said, no, pick one. I'm sending you bread. I'm like, generic sourdough, crack on the outside, melt in your mouth on the inside. It was perfect. And it was gone.
In
2 days
a
later.
blink. Yes.
2 days later, I think on the page, she's like, are you in a carb coma? I'm like, that bread was gone before the guy dropped it off.
Is she truly selling online for orders and stuff?
I know she sells locally because she'll post, like if she has 2 or 3 loaves left, she'll post a quick.
Like a porch pickup or something.
I'll be at this place.
Okay.
Anybody want? I've got an olive and something. I've got there's sweet, there's savory.
Well, I've seen the pictures of them and the
rosemary and
bread,
thyme one.
The crumb on this bread, the inside, it's got that irregular. You can just see the bubbles in the open gaps of the surface of the bread and the texture. Good. And you feel like you want to toast it, but you don't even have to fucking toast it because it's so good just the way it is.
Well, yeah, it was fresh when it came. I would have toasted it if it lasted more than 48 hours, but it did not.
If you do notice that she ships to people who are just not ones that she knows and friends,
yeah,
we'll put that link in the show notes because sweet Lord in heaven, you guys, there is no better bread than the shit that you can buy. So you have to get this, by the way. But continuing on.
Yeah, Anya, let us know if there's a link that is an option to purchase online. Because we also post another link, which is now, it sounds like defunct for a while, closed shop, because I got a second package of joy this break. And it was from Joy Belly Brittle. Holy shit. I have been hyping up your brittle without really.
You haven't eaten it. You did not have any of it. So I thought, well, that can't work. So did it arrive? Did you eat it? Did you like it? Did you try it?
I don't know how you can do anything else. So I get those people that are like, I know you closed your shop, but I don't care when it gets here. But
how do
you stop?
Everybody reorders. No, and I've just left. I turned it off in this way. So I said, look, if you want to reorder, I'm going to open the doors again and start shipping January 15th. And in order to have enough, because when you talk about this, people who hear about it but don't necessarily rush out to buy it or whatever, they still want to taste it. So heading up north, I knew I had to have enough to be able just to gently, because you can't say, oh, I do this thing and I brought you none, or you can buy it. Like, that's not how this works. So so I had to make this whole surplus. So I actually do. I've gotten in front of it. I do have it all. I figured it out. I have it all packaged now. It's ready to go.
And let's start there. The packaging is gorgeous. Like from shipping your label, like from start to fucking finish. And finish would be me kind of finding a little piece of brittle in my tooth later and still eating it and enjoying it. Start to finish, it is perfection. And I don't know how you hit on something like that and stop doing it.
Well, it's really a matter of why did I never do it in the first place? I know what it takes to do it. It came together much faster and easier than my predictive fears.
Right, because you had that committee of ladies that said, well, this is what you do. Let me start this website. Let me do that. And you were going.
Well, I knew that That part, yeah, for sure. My friend Michelle just said, you're having a website. Here you go. Boom. So that made it a lot easier. But I did the whole rest of it. I took on my back. I had a lot of people say, I will do this. I will pack it. I will ship it. I will do it. I didn't hire, in the end, I didn't hire anybody to do it. But the reality is all of the batch cooking and the figuring out the stuff as you go came together faster than I thought it would. In the beginning, years ago, when I toyed with the idea of doing it, I absolutely knew many of the steps I didn't want to do. I don't want to figure this out. I don't want to be in a product that is not really healthy. It's sugar and fat, and a good portion of the world has nut concerns. Like, it was just like, why would I want this liability? All these things. I would come up with all these reasons. I don't want a product business, blah, 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 blah. I don't want something that only works part of the year. Okay. All those things are still true, but it came together so quickly that I was able to solve the packaging in this way. Like, it just, lots of solutions presented themselves quickly and effortlessly. And that is what I'm trying to really learn from. So who the fuck knows? That's what brittle is teaching me. And the sourdough is one, right? Our friend Anya can do so many things so fucking well.
I told you, the best potato salad I've ever had in my whole life, she made.
And this sourdough, through the fucking roof, right?
Yeah, it was amazing.
So it just comes down to, what do you feel like doing? Here's what I'm attuned to. This forced retirement of the past 2 years that I'm anxious to break out of. I'm so off my game in so many ways. I have a close friend who regularly, this has been the third time in my life that he has looked at me and said, You're not, where's Amy? You're not yourself. What's going on with you? You're not yourself tonight.
Where's Amy? Yeah. Yikes.
So, and he always seems to get it. And this was when we were coasting into, I'm about to explode, or freshly back from the craziness or whatever. We were just at a quickie gathering, an impromptu thing. And he can always tell. And he just says, he doesn't know what the answer is. He just knows that girl's not there. And I'm here to tell you that for the 3 times that he said it, I don't know that girl's ever been there, that he's even known me.
Oh.
So it's kind of like,
all right,
I'm still waiting for that girl to come back. That is why, to bring it full circle, I urge you, and will off air force you to resolve the imbalance of the violation that occurred. It's an imbalance, and it is a violation.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel it in my bones.
I don't know how to fix that. I've been dealing with trying to get over violations in my own life, and how long I've been pretending and ignoring. And there's a cultural thing for me that I don't think you have as a Jew, that I absolutely have as a Catholic. It's not so much turn the other cheek, but it's, walk in the other person's shoes, and also on some level turn the other cheek, and somehow being mentally rewarded that if you are less than the other person, that is best. Like, there's this whole religious reinforcement that humility is such an ideal, and poverty is such an ideal, that having anything at all of your own is inherently bad. And that's such a ridiculous, twisted, bullshit, humanized way to interpret what I agree is divine doctrine that has come to us. But that's part of my whole mental makeup that I'm really trying to dismantle.
Do you remember that scene in Les Miserables where he left taking silver from the priest, and the priest says, "You left so quickly, you forgot to take these candlesticks too. Why would you leave the best behind?" Instead of, when the cop brought him back, when Javert brought him back, he's like, no, why would you leave this? He just stole from you, and you went ahead and said, perhaps you forgot these also,
Well, there's like a Chinese or Buddhist, or I don't remember the tradition. It's an Asian tradition that I don't remember which one, whereas there's the story that the guy is sad because someone came and robbed him in the middle of the night, and he's sad because he didn't give him his robe too. Like, he didn't know I had this robe to give. So he's not sad that he was robbed from. And that's not what I'm trying to do here. There's some learning there. Learning there. What there's not is the reality of being unfairly violated and having trust abused. That's having a prosperity mindset, being generous of spirit, is not the same. Well, it is exactly what I want for you. And to have a prosperity mindset and a generosity of spirit is to say, I am included in my generosity for the world. I am being generous with myself and my family and my feelings. I am prosperous. I know that when I do right, good things will happen to me. Not when I do right, I will be violated a second time.
Right.
Right? So I am generous enough to know that I deserve to be protected and feel safe in my own place. Right? It's all part of it. It doesn't mean that, to be generous doesn't mean I am left with nothing. You're still generous with yourself. You're included with the things that you deserve to receive. You deserve to receive safety, security, trust, peace, sleep at night, happy
things
dogs.
that we've built. It's not even that we're receiving it. It's things
And
we've
they're
built
not
that have
gone.
been decimated
They're not decimated and they're not gone. They have been challenged, truly. And this is just a challenge. As overwhelming as it is right now, they're not gone.
Okay.
They're not gone. A God forbid, burned down, tornado lifted house is gone.
Right.
Your house is not gone. Brian?
I'm going to throw a last one up there. Did you see Come From Away?
I went to see Come From Away with, it's not an N95, the KN95 strapped to your fucking face to go to this show and sit down and cry and have sniffles in your mask.
In a mask, right.
That you're not going to fucking take off because the place is packed. And I'm not saying, why would I take this off? It's an hour and a half of my life. I'm not taking it off. So I have discovered that if you stick your finger on the outside of the mask and rub it, you can wipe your nose with the inside of your mask. And then
throw out the mask.
Well, and that beats having the snot from your nose go into your mouth, which is where it was headed. So none of that stuff is good. But so we saw Come From Away, and it was a good show. It was absolutely a good show. It was harder for me than I thought it would be. I didn't know anything about the show until you told me about it. I wouldn't have even known that. I would have been completely blindsided if you had not told me this is about something that happens on 9/11, right? I had no idea for this concept. And on the way in, it didn't occur to me until I sat down in my seat. You see everybody from afar, right? And do the waves and, oh, hi, whatever. Oh, because everybody is there. This is a new theater in our town. So you all want to support it. And, frankly, what else are you going to fucking do? So there is my friend who has the truest 9/11 story ever. Ever. Crazy, crazy true story. And I know for a fact, because we've talked about it before, she's never seen this show. So I sat down in the seat after blinking, and I thought, oh my God, it was just the rolling idea. She's going to be seeing this. She's here. I wonder what it's like. And the first 19 minutes of that show are reliving people on a plane as 9/11 is happening, and they get diverted to some other place. And I'm sitting in the theater, nowhere. I mean, she's like 7 rows away from me. She wasn't even in eye shot, right? Just thinking about Terry and starting to get so upset, and the tears are flowing. And the tension that was created from simply staging it was so overwhelming to me. And my husband next to me was breathing in such a pattern, I wondered if he was asleep. So lots of people have different reactions to this show. I'm just here to tell you.
Wow.
Yep. He was just, I could hear, I'm like, what? My body is vibrating. I mean, and the tears are rolling, and I'm trying to not like gasp out loud and choke on my own sputum. All of this is happening, right? And next to me, we're covered in fucking sweat because it's also too fucking hot in there, and there's too many people, and your body's going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So now it's like tick, 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 tick. All my sweats start up, and you got the K95. So your whole face is beaded up with sweat anyway. And it's the music, it's tense, and the light, and they're banging the drum, and oh my God, and what will happen? So, and I flashed to you, my love. I did flash to you, to the worst show of your life. And I just thought for a second, how would she feel if she were here? Would she be grasping her sternum and just feeling every emotion simultaneously? Or would you be staring down your nose, pursed lips, angrily gripping the shoulder, the armrest, the whole thing? When we saw SpongeBob together,
it was awful.
I saw a new side of you.
It was awful.
I love that show.
And I loved Come From Away. What I loved also about Come From Away is I saw it with my whole family, and my son was sitting next to me and he was crying. And I thought I did, because that generation knows about it from their history books, right? He wasn't born for another 2 years. They don't know they don't understand.
My oldest is a consequence of that day. He was conceived a month later, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
Like,
we were supposed to fly out, and all the flights were canceled.
We're not. No. We're not waiting anymore. We were. When are you going to have kids? When are you going to have kids? When are you going to have? We're fucking having them now. We're not waiting anymore. Done.
Dear listener, we have so much more to talk to you about because Amy and I have not been together for weeks. But
so maybe you just get to come back next week. How about that?
But this is the end of our today, and there's so many questions I have for her. But I'm gonna have to shake it off. Thank you for returning to us after a shitty audio last week. For which we are super grateful that you've returned.
Let it go.
I'm gonna let it go. You should too. Join me as I let it go. Thank you so much for listening. We are so grateful for you. This year, we're going to try to step up our game for you and bring you wonderful stories, maybe about Melissa taking back her house.
More break-ins. Yeah, I feel like we're going to do it. We're going to put our lives on the line. It's going to be like, swang. Yeah, it's going to be real life Miami. It's coming
right
at you.
Into us, brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at Brilliant Observations or Brill Ob Squad. Find us on Instagram and Twitter at Listen Brilliant, and let us know what you would do if you were Amy, get a new car, or you were Melissa, move. Thank you for listening. We love you, and